I'm calling this series of studies Simply Significant: How God Shapes Ordinary People for Extraordinary Purposes. I'm launching into this study from the book of Acts, chapter 7, the defense of Stephen before his accusers, as he goes back into the Old Testament to speak the message of truth. Listen as we break into that narrative in chapter 7, verses 20 through 34. At this time Moses was born and was well-pleasing to God, and he was brought up in his father's house for 3 months. But when he was set out, Pharaoh's daughter took him away and brought him up as her own son. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in words and deeds. Now, when he was 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. And seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended and avenged him who was oppressed, and struck down the Egyptian. For he supposed that his brethren would have understood that God would deliver them by his hand. But they did not understand. And the next day he appeared to 2 of them as they were fighting, and tried to reconcile them, saying, Men, you are brethren. Why do you wrong one another? But he who did his neighbor wrong pushed him away, saying, Who made you a ruler and a judge over us? Do you want to kill me as you did the Egyptian yesterday? Then at this saying, Moses fled and became a dweller in the land of Midian, where he had 2 sons. And when 40 years had passed, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire in a bush in the wilderness of Mount Sinai. When Moses saw it, he marveled at the sight. And as he drew near to observe, the voice of the Lord came to him, saying, I am the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses trembled and dared not look. Then the Lord said to him, Take your sandals off your feet, for the place where you stand is holy ground. I have surely seen the oppression of my people who are in Egypt. I have heard their groaning, and have come down to deliver them. And now come, I will send you to Egypt. There Stephen talks about Moses, but he proceeds on after some further discussion about the Exodus and the wilderness wanderings and the conquest of Canaan to talk about the monarchy and about King David. Listen at verse 44. Our fathers had the tabernacle of witness in the wilderness, as he appointed, instructing Moses to make it according to the pattern that he had seen, which our fathers, having received it in turn also, brought with Joshua into the land possessed by the Gentiles, whom God drove out before the face of our fathers until the days of David, who found favor before God and asked to find a dwelling for the God of Jacob. Now, probably the most significant men in the Old Testament were Moses and David. But they did not start out that way, and they did not become great men by their own doing and for their own glory. But they were called by God, equipped by grace, and lived for God's glory. Though we know their name, their fame rests in the sovereign work of God that takes simple people and makes them simply significant, ordinary people that God sets apart for extraordinary purposes. Now, what I want you to know is that God is no respecter of persons. He can use any of us if we are surrendered to Him. He is the potter and we are the clay, human clay that He molds into choice vessels. Now, how does He do this? What do you think? Stop and consider your ideas based on your knowledge of these 2 men, Moses and David. And what we're going to do in the videos that follow is explore this further in our next segment.